Hey, welcome back to Push the Line. It's your boy Jay from the K. Let's get into this real quick and talk about how not to fail an interview. All right, let's dig in. All right, some of the do's and the don'ts. Okay, so make good eye contact. We do want to do that. We do want to bring extra resumes. Sometimes a person will pretend like they didn't get your resume to see if you were prepared. And a lot of times, if you've been to an interview, you see on the desk, there's a lot of stuff on the desk. They're kind of disorganized or they're working. And so they have a lot of papers on the desk. They might have actually misplaced it. And if they have actually misplaced it, how much better does that make you look as a candidate to say, oh, I got you right here. I got a couple more right here. Okay. And plus, you don't know when you walk into the interview if you're going to interview with one person or you're going to be interviewing with three or four people. And so it's always good to have a little extra just to spread around in case. Okay. Answer truthfully but briefly. Uh, you don't want to start digging a rabbit hole because if you start doing that, you're going to get off track and you're going to be really speaking to things that they didn't even ask. Okay. So keep them very brief. All right. Give examples whenever you can. Always give examples. And so if they ask you a question, you answer the question, but then you follow it up with an example because what they're trying to see is how do you operate? How do you think? How do you feel? That's what they're trying to see. So you need to give them um, a very good um, conceptualization of how you operate, how you function in the workplace. Okay. All right. So do show off your company research again, because that's going to be something that's going to separate you from other people. When they ask you the question, like, why do you want to work here? You should have an answer. And it shouldn't be, well, just I like the company. Why do you like the company? Because they're going to follow up with questions because they're asking, they want certain information, right? So if you can say that, oh man, I've noticed it in the last 5 years, you guys have grown by 20%, and you've knocked out your competitors, and or whatever. Or I believe in your core values and your mission statement. Those type of things, the vision of this company. Those things stand out when they hear that because most people don't really do the research. They don't really know the company they're going to interview with. They're just looking for a job, right? Especially right now with COVID-19, how everybody's looking for work right now. These are things that are going to make you stand out and make you a little bit more palatable to the person that you're interviewing with. All right, take some notes. It's always good to take a notepad in there and take notes because it shows that you're interested, you're organized, you're focused, and it shows leadership qualities as well. So always take some notes. Don't do not smoke before the interview, right? Don't even smoke. Like if you're gonna smoke at home, take a shower, get ready. Don't go in there smelling like smoke, right? Reason being is because for one, the company may be a tobacco-free place, right? And so we all know how it is when you smoke cigarettes. You got to get that fix every 15, 20 minutes. You might feel like you need a cigarette. When I used to smoke, I know I used to want that fix. I used to want to get that every chance I could get, right? And so sometimes you try to squeeze out an extra break or something like that, right? And that seems good to you, but to an employer, it's like, hey, this person can't focus because they're too busy trying to smoke, right? And so that may lead to them to have a different concept about who you really are, right? About your character. And so it's not fair, but that's just the way it is. Another reason is um, with that workplace being tobacco free, if that's the case, like many places are, then that would be a violation of their policy. And so if you're already showing them that you smoke, then that may make them think, well, he may violate our policy here, or he or she, right? Besides that is you don't know if this person is allergic to the smell of smoke or they have asthma. They're going to walk into this place and they're going to be thinking about that in an interview. It could be a distraction, right? I've had people who said that they interviewed a person and they thought that the person had been smoking weed marijuana in the parking lot, right? But the person was actually smoking cigarettes, and the person was smoking like a stale pack of cigarettes or whatever, and but it came across differently because this person's sense of smell was a little bit different, and so they smelled marijuana when it was actually tobacco, right? And so that just ruined everything for that person. Okay, so that's a good reason why not to smoke before you go into an interview. Don't act desperate again because if you're looking desperate for the job, then they're going to start thinking, okay, this person is looking for something. Okay, now what are they really looking for? They're going to ask you those questions to try to open you up to see if what you're looking for all the right things and that they can offer those things. But if you're looking for the biggest paycheck, or the best benefits or whatever, you might be killing yourself because they might not be offering that, right? So don't look desperate, okay? Because a desperate person, once they might feel like once you get this job, you may not be so content here, and so a desperate person is going to start looking for something else, okay? And they don't want to deal with that, okay? So don't discuss any personal issues. And the reason why is because you don't know this person. You don't know what their prejudices are. You don't really know them. So it's very dangerous to talk about personal issues. Some of the questions they will ask you are open-ended questions, and it's designed to open you up. And you will just answer the question, and you will unknowingly give them some information that they don't like, right? I was in an interview once, and so me and my colleagues were interviewing someone. So I was the only guy, and the rest were women, and we were interviewing a young man, and he great credentials, great energy, and all that, right? But he would talk, and one of the tricks in interviewing is I'll ask you a question, and I'll just shut up, and there'll be this awkward silence. Okay, well that's designed to make you feel kind of off put and to make you feel like, well, maybe I didn't answer that right, or I didn't give enough information, or maybe they think I'm lying, right? So I need to clear this up. And so that happened to this young man. And he just went to talking, trying to recover because he thought he had messed up. He actually gave a great answer, but that just threw him off, right? But in doing that, after the interview, everyone talks and decides, okay, do we like this person or not, right? Once he left, they were all like, no. And one person said that, in interviews, there's always that one thing people say. And I always look for that one thing. And then he said that one thing. She didn't say what the one thing was, but it was something that she personally had a problem with, personally, right? And you would think as professionals that we're focused on the job at hand and so on and so forth, it was a personal thing. And so for that reason, she said, it's a no for me, right? And it was 3 against 1. And so he didn't get the job. But had he only known just to be quiet, just to answer questions straightforward, don't offer any extra information, he would have been good, right? So be careful of that. Don't discuss any personal information. Don't ask about salary, benefits, or time off. Again, this is the first time you're sitting down talking to these people, and you're going to sound desperate if that's what you want to talk about, because it seems like that's the only reason why you wake up and go to work, right? So don't do that, okay? So don't mispronounce or misspell the person's name. Some people get very offended by that. If you know that you're interviewing someone and you can't remember how to spell the name or say the name, maybe they have a foreign name or something like that, or just a very eccentric name or whatnot. But what you can do is you can always call HR before you interview, right? And you can ask them, you say, hey, I think I have an interview coming up this Friday at 10 o'clock in the morning. And the person's name, it's Mr. Galifa, and they'll correct you. Oh, Galifianakis. Oh, okay, yeah, Galifianakis. So now you know, right? And so you just don't want to tick the person off before you even get a chance to show them what you're bringing to the table. Okay. All right. So again, don't offer any negative information because you don't know this person's prejudices. You don't know how this person feels, what they've gone through in their own lives, because we all come to the table with our own frame of references. Okay. And so as unfair as it is, that's just the way it is, okay? So if you offer any information that's negative, it's going to be a blight against you. And it's really no one's fault but your own because you gave it to them, okay? So be careful of that. But don't tell jokes because, again, you don't know this person, okay? I had a person who was in a training that I was giving, and he talked about how he went to an interview. He walks in, and instantly he sees all this KU paraphernalia, KU picture frames, KU coffee mugs, and things like that. And so he instantly thought, oh, great, I got this one. I'm a KU fan. He's a KU fan. Got this in the bag. And so as the interview started, right away, he starts talking about KU, how he likes KU and the games and how they're winning and so on and so forth. And so he said the guy he was interviewing with got completely mad. So his face turned red. He was hot. And so he told the guy, the guy in my training, he told him that I hate KU. He said, I'm not even from Kansas. I think it's from like Arizona or somewhere, but he was not from Kansas. And so at that moment, the guy realized that he had just messed up. And from there, he said the interview went downhill. But he said the reason why he had all the KU paraphernalia is because his friends and family from here or whatever know he doesn't like it. And so they do it as a joke to get under his skin. So he hated KU that much. And so the interview didn't go well. And unfortunately, he didn't get the interview. He said, if I would have known, I would have never said anything about KU. So don't think you know these people. Don't offer any personal information, and don't be joking around because you don't know what's funny to this person. You don't know what their sense of humor is. You don't know what offends them. So you want to steer clear of all that kind of stuff. All right. And lastly, don't rely on your resume or your application to get you hired. Just because you got the qualifications doesn't mean anything. The application and the resume pique their interest. So they brought you in to interview with them to see who you really are, to see if who you are on paper lines up with who you are in real life. Okay. Okay. So that's how you do not fail an interview. Those are the steps. Okay. All right. So before you go, make sure that you like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so that you stay up to date with all of the videos. And all right, as always, be blessed.